Welcome back here at 4 tonight. This is National Suicide Prevention Week. It's a time to raise awareness of the struggles that a lot of people are facing right now and letting everyone out there know that there is help available. Our good friend, licensed counselor Felicia Glass is back once again to help us learn more about some of the resources that we have at our disposal here in Northeast Kansas. Felicia, it's always good to see you.
Always good to see you as well.
You're always a ray of sunshine when you come in. But, you know, we're talking about something really serious today, and this is Suicide Prevention Week, and there are a lot of resources out there to help people who may be struggling. And talk about some of those resources.
Absolutely. So, you know, the primary reason why I'm here is just to remind people that it's okay to talk about it, right? And so I always want to share that our first resource is one another. Being able to have real, open communications about feelings and emotions, no longer feeling like we have to stuff all of that sadness or sorrow or even the thoughts about suicide. Research shows that if we talk about it more and we're dealing with it, we're more likely to survive our thoughts because they won't be able to take so much control over our behavior. So, you know, in Topeka, we have lots of community resources. We have lots of individual practitioners. I always tell people to use the Psychology Today website because they can find exactly what they're looking for. So they can kind of handpick their therapist using that website. We have phenomenal mental health centers here as well, like Vallejo. And for children, we have family service and guidance centers. So we want people to use the resources. Our greatest resource now is right at the tips of our fingertips, right? With the 988 hotline. So if you're experiencing thoughts of suicide or feelings of suicide, there's someone on the other end of a phone who can help you. They're trained crisis counselors and managers, and we want people to use that resource.
We did some reporting here at 13 News last week on the momentous first year that program has had. Some 20,000 Kansans were served by calling 988. The response time here in Kansas is, I think it's 12 seconds above the national average in terms of getting somebody to actually answer that call. So what a tremendous asset that is, and a new resource that is obviously needed, and it's being used.
Absolutely. Truth is, there are about 50,000 people who lose their life every year to suicide. Our goal is to decrease that number. So my personal goal is to talk about mental health issues, make sure that people are aware that they are not alone. We often talk about suicide from the perspective of trying to help after the fact, when in reality we can help by simply having genuine, authentic conversations with people, no longer being afraid to talk about those feelings, those emotions, but really making mental health and our mental health status a primary conversation, so simple that it's something that we should talk about sitting at the dinner table, hanging out with our friends, feeling comfortable to make that phone call and invite someone over to really deal with their real issues.
And then you and I were talking before we went on the air here about the fact that it is so much more prevalent, and you know, it's part of our discussion these days. It's part of the forefront, you know, whereas when you and I were kids, sometimes people didn't talk about some of these things. So it's really a great thing that we can talk about these things now and let people know, hey, there's help out there, and we're here for you.
Absolutely. So for people who may be wondering, you know, what do we do now? How do we address these issues? There's a fabulous webinar that I'm going to have you post on the website. That's coming up. It's free, talking about how do we talk about suicide. And the truth is, it's as simple as a conversation, but we have to get comfortable and know that talking about suicide does not increase the risk of someone ending their life. We really got to talk about the idea that access is actually the greatest danger that we have, right? So access to lethal weapons of those sorts. So we have to remove those.
And I was going to let our viewers know there's that resource line there, 988, call it. It's like 911, but 988, call it from any phone. You can even text to 988 here in Kansas, which is a really, really great thing. Felicia, good to see you as always.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you again, okay?
I'll see you soon.
Okay.